Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Willow. Myself and my fellow co-founders, Allie and Clinton, all have childhood memories of being around our grandparents. Mine is walking through pastures, holding my grandmother's hand on a farm in Kentucky. Allie's is having breakfast with Grandma, eating a healthy Frosted Flakes and drinking Coca-Cola. Clinton vividly remembers playing hide and seek under a willow tree. As is life, all three of us lost our grandparents, and all of you have or will at some point too. In our cases, this loss tore our families apart, but it didn't have to. Is your family prepared? According to caring.com, probably not. So why is that? I haven't gotten around to it. I don't think I have enough assets to pass on, or I don't know how. Maybe it costs too much. But what's the real cost here? Your family's legacy. Willow is here to stop the excuses and give you peace of mind. We're creating an application with 6 features focusing on ease of use and clarity of intention during a difficult time, financial tracking and allocation of assets, physical asset wishes, health intentions, digital assets in today's world, funeral arrangements, and the ability to connect with a professional estate planner or legal representation. Upwards of $1 trillion a year is going to start changing hands as the baby boomers exit our lives. Willow is going to be there to help with that transition. Specifically, with the 64% of adults that do not have a will, and the 60% of wealth transfers under $1 million. At Willow, we're building an application that removes the excuses, the first of its kind, drag and drop, point and shoot. Plan at your pace as an individual or with your family. What does your grandmother collect? Clinton's? She collected Hummels. Each grandchild has their favorite. Our application allows Grandma to shoot a picture, then drag and drop straight to her family tree. It's that easy with any physical asset. Willow makes your intentions clear and easy to articulate. One touch on any tree branch removes all ambiguity, while also showing even distribution, if that's your desire, across the entire family tree, even digital assets. And as we all know, in today's world, everything is turning digital. The nearly impossible task of finding, gaining access, moving, deleting, or even selling is only going to get harder and more complicated without Willow helping you. And when it's all been planned, Willow is still there, helping to connect you with professionals across all latent life needs: insurance, assisted living, long-term care, even lawyers and estate planners or financial advisors. We realize we're not the first in this space, yet we are the first holistic asset planning application for the modern end-of-life needs. Anyone can make a form for you to take to a lawyer. Our key differentiators are legal asset, digital asset access and maneuverability, as well as physical asset tracking and allocation, both of which currently reside outside of traditional estate planning. We believe the market opportunity is straightforward. Our 5-year goal is to capture 5% of the families of the 40 million baby boomers with less than $1 million in assets, lacking a will or trust. That 5% capture equals $100 million in revenue from our software as a service model. If you tie in our pay-per-lead revenue generation partnerships through assisted living facilities, estate and financial planners and lawyers, then we're looking at north of $120 million in revenue in the first 5 years. Please allow me to introduce the team. I'm Brian, a technologist, Clinton, user experience expert, and Allie, a civil engineer. We're all currently executive MBA students at Xavier with a combined 50-year track record of bringing complicated solutions to market. Our startup mentors are Lucy, a probate and estate attorney, and Mike, professor, mentor, and serial entrepreneur. Our path to success is straightforward. We create our MVP and receive feedback through test groups. We will then launch our beta and start building industry partnerships. Finally, we will sell licenses and scale as appropriate. A proven method through thinking big, starting small, and scaling quickly. Thank you for your consideration.
All right, and joining us today from Willow Estate Planning is Allie Scholl. Judges, take it away.
Hi, Allie. Thanks for being here today. So, and also thank you to Grandma for being a Fifth Third customer. I noticed that she had a nice bank account with us too. So this is a really morbid topic, right? And it's one that children don't want to hear about from their parents, and parents are reluctant to talk about, their financials with their kids. So thinking about that 5% of boomers that you're going after, how do you become top of mind to them to want to even engage in the thought of planning it before it's, planning is kind of too late in some cases?
And that's actually what's really interesting, is that we're not going after that 5% of boomers. We're going after me and you and my co-founders. We want to go after the next generation, or better yet, even the generation after that wants very much to help their grandparents plan, because we are of the empathetic generation. We believe in fairness and justice, and we want to help so that once that matriarch or patriarch leaves us, their intentions are well understood, and so that the family can move forward with their grief and move forward without it turning into, what can happen, which is that folks see that physical asset as confirmation that they were loved by that individual. So the planning has to happen. And beyond that, a will isn't necessarily going to itemize every one of Grandma's Hummels. So this is the equivalent of a Post-it note, but again, making sure that the family understands that they were cared for when that does happen.
Yeah, I'm going to push you a little bit more on this one. Okay. How are you going to get people to think about engaging with your app or wanting to come to you to then have that conversation with their grandma?
Well, it's tremendous timing with COVID-19, right? This is at top of mind. And in our research, we saw the number of people that do have wills is going up and up and up. So we think that it's very timely. We do expect, I don't know that I would go to the App Store seeking this out, right? So we're going to definitely rely some bit on word of mouth and working with our friends and sharing what we've been able to do for our families.
So I know the 3 team members are all executive MBAs right now, presumably have full-time jobs outside of this. I'm curious, who's in? Upon graduation, who of the 3 of you is committed to running this and making this your job?
So I'm the brains behind the operation, joking, but I am the operations person. Clinton is our user experience expert, and Brian is our IT expert. We are all fully committed, and frankly, our other students in our cohort, they want to help us. So we're really blessed to have the Xavier family, as well as you, Clinton and I have the UC family also to help push this forward.
Time for one more quick question.
Very quickly, so tell me how does this stack up against some of the other competitors that are out in the field?
Well, nobody's really doing this. People are, they're automating wills, making that easier and more accessible and less expensive, but nobody is really looking holistically at a person's assets, all of their assets, financial, physical, digital. So this is a little bit different, because you could literally map everything that you own. You could pick and choose. And so this is, to us, it's the first of its kind.